Getting a spare key made, it seems like such a simple errand, right? But what if I told you the difference between a quick copy and a professional one could mean the difference between security and a really expensive problem? Let's get into it.
Oh man, you know that feeling, that sinking feeling in your stomach. You're patting down your pockets, you're digging through your bag, and your heart just plummets. You're completely stranded. And it's all because of one single small piece of metal that holds the key, literally, to your entire day. So whether you're in that situation or, just trying to be smart and prevent it, you don't just need a key. You need the right key. You need one that's going to work smoothly every single time without creating some bigger, way more expensive headache later on. Okay, so that brings up a really important question. What actually makes a locksmith a professional? Because it's definitely not just about owning a key-cutting machine. Let's dig into what really sets a true expert apart from one of those self-service kiosks you see at the store. All right, a real pro, they deliver on 5 key promises. First up is precision. Their equipment cuts keys to the exact manufacturer specs, which means it won't wreck your lock. Second, they've got to be versatile. They can handle pretty much any key you throw at them. Third is the big one, technology. They can program those complex chips inside modern car keys. And finally, you get unbeatable convenience. We're talking same-day service, and they might even come right to you. Yeah, and this is where things get really interesting, especially with modern car keys. See, for most cars made in, say, the last 20 years or so, the physical shape of the key, that's only half the story. The real security is completely invisible. It's all about the tech that's hidden inside. It's called a transponder key. That little plastic bit on your key fob, it has a tiny electronic chip inside it, and that chip has a unique code. So when you put the key in the ignition, your car sends out a signal. If the chip doesn't answer back with the exact right code, well, the engine just won't start. It's a brilliant anti-theft system, but it also makes copying a key a pretty high-tech job. And that right there perfectly shows you the scope of a real professional. I mean, they handle everything. It doesn't matter if it's a standard key for your house, a high-security key for your business, like a Medeco that you can't just copy without authorization, or that super complex transponder key for your car. They've got the tools and, more importantly, the know-how to do it all. Okay, so now let's talk about the other option, the one that's super tempting, the hardware store kiosk. I get it, it seems so quick and easy, but what you're really doing is you're gambling. You're rolling the dice with your security, treating real reliability for a little bit of convenience. And that, my friends, is a risky bet. I mean, just look at the difference here. It's night and day. A professional locksmith, they give you a key that's cut with precision. A kiosk, you're often getting a rough, inaccurate copy. A locksmith can program that transponder chip in your car key. The kiosk? Nope, can't do it. Need a copy of a high-security key? You can just forget about it at the hardware store. It really is the difference between genuine expertise and, well, a vending machine for keys. And here's the most crucial point of all. A poorly cut key from one of those kiosks isn't just an inconvenience that doesn't work. Oh no. When you jam that key into the lock and try to force it, that rough metal can literally grind away at the pins inside. It wears them down, or worse, it can break them. And suddenly, what started as a cheap $5 problem has turned into a couple $100 lock replacement. Yikes. Okay, so we get it, right? The quality is just not the same. But how does this actually play out in real life? Let's look at a few common situations where going with a pro really, really pays off. Let's run through 4 of them. These are those moments where a professional locksmith can turn what feels like a total disaster into, honestly, just a minor inconvenience. Okay, let's break these down. Say you're a new homeowner. While the locksmith is there rekeying your locks, they can cut you a whole set of perfect spares right on site. Or what about that nightmare scenario? You lost your only car key. A pro can actually create a brand new one just from your car's VIN, that's the vehicle identification number, and program it right there. No expensive tow to the dealership. It's the same for a growing business that needs more office keys or a property manager who needs reliable spares for tenants. These are real-world problems that demand a professional solution. And you know those keys that are stamped with "Do Not Duplicate"? What do you do with those? Well, a kiosk is totally useless. But a professional locksmith, they understand the security that's built into that system. They're going to respect that restriction, and they're going to ask for your authorization first, before they even think about making a copy. And frankly, that's exactly the kind of responsible service you should be looking for. So, when it all comes down to it, here's the bottom line. Getting a spare key made shouldn't be a frantic errand you run after you're already locked out.
It's a basic part of being prepared for life. It's just smart planning.
Let me leave you with this one last thought. You probably have a spare tire for your car, right? You wouldn't dream of going on a long road trip without one. So why do you have a spare tire for your car, but not a spare key for your life? Think about it. It's time to stop gambling and start planning.